A man lives alone. No wife, no girlfriend, no witness to the fact that dinner was crackers over the sink. Psychology sees something stranger. The same empty apartment can be a sanctuary, a laboratory, or a trap. And the difference is not whether a woman lives there. It is whether he chose the silence, built a life outside it, and can still leave when the silence gets comfortable. Number 1 changes the picture. Number 7, the apartment is not the diagnosis. Living alone, being single, social isolation, and loneliness are 4 different things. We blend them into one sad smoothie. Living alone describes an address. Being single describes relationship status. Social isolation means having few social connections. Loneliness is the painful gap between the connection someone wants and the connection he feels he has. A man can occupy one apartment and have a rich social world, or share a bed and feel emotionally stranded near the decorative pillows. This matters because research often finds worse outcomes around isolation and loneliness, but that does not prove a solo lease caused them. A study of more than 16,000 German adults initially found solo dwellers were lonelier. After accounting for differences, including financial security, the pattern reversed. Housing is a terrible shortcut for measuring belonging. Number 6. Chosen silence changes the signal. Psychologists distinguish solitude that is self-chosen from aloneness that feels imposed. Outside, both sit quietly. Inside, one recovers, the other waits for life to begin. Choice changes the meaning of the same event. Saturday night alone can register as freedom when it protects energy, concentration, or peace. The identical Saturday can register as rejection when he wanted closeness but expected failure. Same couch, same takeout box, completely different nervous system memo. Self-determination theory argues that autonomy, feeling that your actions are genuinely yours, is a basic psychological need. Solo living can feed it through tiny decisions: sleep now, cook later, place the chair there, leave the chair there for 6 years. But autonomy is not the same as health. If "I prefer being alone" really means "I cannot tolerate being known," independence may be wearing avoidance as a fake mustache. Number 5. He stops performing as self. Most identity is negotiated. Around other people, we explain, soften, impress, compromise, and occasionally pretend the thermostat setting is fine. Alone, the social mirror goes dark. That can reveal preferences that were previously buried under adaptation. Researchers studying solitude have linked positive motivations for spending time alone with well-being, while negative, fear-based motivations tell a less cheerful story. Ask not how often he is alone, but what he becomes there. Some men use privacy to build. They read, train, make music, learn, recover, or finally think a thought from beginning to end without a notification asking whether they accept cookies. Others use privacy to disappear. The room amplifies whichever process is already being rehearsed. Solitude does not automatically create character. It removes the audience and reveals the script. Number 4. Self-reliance can become a locked door. Living alone trains competence. If the sink leaks, facilities is you holding a wrench backward over a 2009 tutorial. Over time, repeated self-rescue can create real agency. Problems appear, and he expects himself to act. But a useful adaptation can overgrow. Some men learn not merely "I can handle this," but "I must handle everything alone." Now, asking for help feels like failure. Vulnerability becomes an invoice he refuses to open. This is risky because many male friendships survive through shared activity, not direct emotional disclosure. Remove the workplace, team, gaming group, workshop, or cafe, and the bond may quietly vanish. No argument, no betrayal, just two men repeatedly saying, "We should catch up," until one of them becomes a funeral photograph. The healthiest solo man is not the one who needs nobody. He is the one who can function independently without turning interdependence into a character defect. Number 3. His social life becomes intentional or extinct. Shared homes provide accidental contact, a question in the kitchen, footsteps in the hall, somebody judging your third bowl of cereal. Living alone removes this low-dose social nutrition. Connection now requires planning. That can improve relationships. Instead of using a partner as an entire social infrastructure, best friend, therapist, event planner, emergency contact, and unpaid witness to every minor inconvenience, a single man may distribute connection across friends, relatives, neighbors, colleagues, and communities. Sociologist Eric Klinenberg reported that many solo dwellers participate actively in public and civic life. Their home is a base, not a bunker. But intention has a tax: effort. Loneliness can increase vigilance for social threat, making neutral moments feel colder. Then the lonely person withdraws, receives less corrective warmth, and becomes even more certain withdrawal was sensible. The brain builds a security system and accidentally locks the owner inside. A practical warning sign is behavioral, not aesthetic. The unwashed mug is not evidence. Repeatedly canceling plans, losing routine, and feeling relief whenever closeness is avoided, that is more informative. Number 2, peace can lower his tolerance for negotiation. After years of total control, compromise can feel less like intimacy and more like malware. Another person moves the pan, changes the schedule, breathes at an unauthorized volume. His environment has trained him to expect zero interpersonal friction. This does not make him incapable of love. It may make him highly selective, because a relationship is no longer competing with desperation. It is competing with peace. That can be psychologically healthy. Tolerating aloneness reduces pressure to accept harm just to escape an empty room. But there is a hidden cost. Relationships require micro-adjustments, explaining, repairing, waiting, being inconvenienced without drafting a constitutional crisis. If a man interprets every disruption as incompatibility, high standards may actually be deconditioned cooperation. The real test of emotional independence is not whether he enjoys his own company. It is whether he can share space without experiencing another person's needs as an invasion. Call it the friction gap. Solitude removes the tiny negotiations that keep cooperation practiced. Peace feels natural. Adjustment starts feeling suspicious. Number 1, the real divide is expansion versus contraction. Here's the distinction most videos miss. Do not ask whether his life contains a woman. Ask whether his life is expanding or contracting. Expansion looks like curiosity, maintained friendships, meaningful work, physical care, future plans, and solitude that restores him before he returns to the world. Contraction looks like shrinking routines, fewer calls, increasing suspicion, neglected health, and a home that changes from refuge to hiding place. This explains why two men with identical relationship status can have opposite psychological outcomes. One has designed a network with no romantic person at its center. The other has removed the center and never built a network. One is alone without being abandoned. The other is surrounded by conveniences and slowly becoming unreachable. Research on social connection consistently warns about chronic isolation, while research on chosen solitude shows benefits, such as restoration, authenticity, and personal growth. Both can be true, because alone is not one psychological state. It's a location where different motives produce different trajectories. So, the psychology of a man who lives alone without a woman is not automatically commitment fear, secret misery, superior discipline, or mystical masculine awakening. Sometimes he is thriving. Sometimes he is avoiding. Usually he is doing portions of both. The sharpest question is not, why doesn't a woman live with him? It is, does his solitude make him more capable of connection or more skilled at escaping it? Because the healthiest home is not the one that is always full. It's the one whose door can close without becoming permanently locked.